All right, welcome to the Data Analysis Mastery, and this is the course where you become an expert data analyst in 7 days, even if you're a total number newbie, aka if you don't like math. And I am Lola Jala. Basically, what we shall be talking about in this video is how to write an executive report. And what I mean by an executive report is the exact report that you write that actually helps in decision making. Because one of your key jobs as a data analyst is that you do most of your research so as for informed decisions to be made. So that's your key task. And whenever you're doing something of such, it's not always okay to drop like a 15 pages report to those decision makers. Tell you what, they don't have time to research. So it's always very important for you to do like an executive summary of what you found so that they can actually make those decisions fast. Because should you send like a 25 pages report to your boss who has several other stuffs on his or her table, it might delay decision making before that person goes through the all of the 25 pages and all of that. So most times it's always very important to put it to the maximum of 5. So between 3 to 5, depending on the kind of project that you are doing a kind of executive report about. So it's always very okay to make it as short or as small as possible, so that whosoever is making decisions with it makes that decision once and life can go on smoothly. So today we shall be talking about executive report writing, just as I said, and our key themes would be the overview of the survey or the survey overview, the purpose, and report content, just in two categories. And in the second category, which happens to be the purpose and the report content, we shall talk about the insights that you gathered from the research. What are the pointers? What are the things that your respondent points you to? What are the important things that you should actually work on? What are the things that they need you to that they need you to act on? So several of those insights has to be present. It's a must. They have to be present, and you have to tell these using facts and figures. So what this means, what I mean by fact is whatsoever you say is being backed up by a specific number or by speaking or by a specific voice be should be backed up. So you shouldn't just say things. So everything, every word that you say in that report must have a back up. As a matter of fact, if you thought about something, that thing has to be related to something that a respondent must have said. So take for instance, you want to suggest that the customer service representative works on Saturdays and on Sunday. This should be backed up by data. So maybe by talking to people, you found out that most people make requests on Saturdays and on Sundays, and they eventually did not, get responses to it. And that's the reason why on the Mondays you have lots of requests, because people have to pile up their requests from Saturday and Sunday that the customer representative agent didn't work. So you should have facts to back that up. So you could want to say to your manager that the reason we always have this so number of requests every Monday is because customers does this and this on Saturdays and on Sunday. So I would like to suggest that we do this on Saturday so that I can actually take quite a number of those requests. And maybe some people work in the evenings of Sundays so that I can actually take some of these requests so as to offset most of those requests or most of those issues on Monday. It's so very easy. So you shouldn't forget to add the facts and the figures. Number 3 is the customer language. Irrespective of the insight that I've gathered or the facts and figures that I've used in backing all of these things up, it's always very important for me to talk in the customer's language, because this helps the organization in 2 key ways. The first is it helps them better interpret what the customer says. So what that means is that a simple word in the exact language verbatim might mean different things to 2 or 3 people. So if, take for instance, I had to fine tune what that person has said. So what that means is that I have basically write my own understanding of whatsoever the customer says, which might not work at every instance. So sometimes it is always very good if I drop in the customer's language verbatim, just the way the customer has said it. It might give it like an additional insight for whoever says it beyond the way I might have said it. So it's always very important for that reason. That's the first. And the second is it helps the organization better communicate with the customer. So it's for you to, if you talk to them in their language, they get it right, they get it better than you talking to them in the language you basically understand. So a very good example of this is saying, okay, take for instance, you want to make an upsell to your customers. So you tell them that if they purchase this quantity of products, they get 100% discount on another quantity on another product. So look at the word that I used. I said the 100%. I said 100% discount, and of which I could say that if you purchase this amount of product, you could get this product for free. So depending on my customers and the language with which they use, word framings such as 100% discount and free, which are basically the same, could be communicated based on the language that they speak. And number 4, which is like the last but not least, is the approach with which I've conducted the research. So in this area, I'm going to have the research methodology and some of the things that I focused on in actually doing this. Most of what I put into place by doing this. So that's basically executive report writing. So I just did a kind of snipes so that you can also have a feel of it. So take for instance, look at this executive report. So the title of it is Customer Service Impact Report. So our customer service, have been making these calls for close to 3 months, and we want to see if this has made impact in the lives of our customers. So a kind of research is being conducted, might be a face-to-face survey or phone survey. And so it's just for us to conduct an impact. And we could also have a focus group anyhow, or whatsoever methods or data collection process that you've actually employed to conduct this. It's all up to you. So the first thing you do is you talk about the survey details. What is this survey all about? And it's always very key for you to say it in one paragraph, give the key reasons, why you want to do this, and that's all. So here I said the customer service impact survey is part of the service operational check suite. And this survey focuses on deciphering the impact that our customer service have on each stage in our customer journey. So grooming customers right from the awareness stage to the consideration and decision stage, what happens? The question in this survey are designed to: number one, keep tracks of request trends from customers; two, chart out an improvement plans for customer service representatives, because they basically need to improve; and number three, plan workloads distribution and schedules for representatives; and number four, understand how customer expectations are being met. That's all. So in just basically 7 lines, with total clarity and simplicity, anyone, even a fool, could tell us what this report is all about. So that's what executive report does. So it's not for you to write the survey details in 2-3 pages, then you found somebody reading for like 30 minutes, 1 hour, as if that person has an exam. Not done. You feel me? All right. So the second is purpose and content of the report. So you could say that this document provides a detailed but concise executive summary of the customer service impact survey findings. That's the purpose. So you could also want to give us, like a background to other important content of this report, and that's the reason I said to examine raw data, the raw data that was used in actually making this report, and qualitative analysis and the kind of analysis that was done. See, so I just used the word see, but basically in real sense you just say you can find the so raw data here, so, and you create a link that actually links you to where this is found in the cloud, and you can also find the qualitative analysis here, a link to where this is being found. Basically, you could also add that the desk research document and background to the study actually have this. So if your director or your manager needs to do an additional reading, needs to better understand what the concept is all about, because he or she might not actually have the total expertise in this concept or in this course of study. So if that person needs to make it like an additional read as to how you've put all of these things together just from this document, that person could actually toggle between whatsoever he or she wants. Then after which I start it up. Number one, insight. I tell them the insight, what are the findings, what I actually deciphered by conducting this survey. So the first one is top insight. It's always very important for you to tell like the key thing, like the number one main insight that you got, like the highest of all your insights, something that basically we need to work on almost immediately. So take for instance, most of our customers are leaving our services because they needed us more on Saturdays and Sundays and we are not available. So bam, you drop that top insight. Yeah, most customers are withdrawing from our services because they needed us more on weekends. So you could actually add a little information to that and we don't work on weekends. Yes, your director knows, but you are trying to make this person think less. You are trying to actually paint the best picture possible so that your manager doesn't think too much about whatsoever he's saying. So by saying weekends, yes, the brain might actually not process it fast. But whenever you add that extra information that and we do not work on weekend, that person quickly grab whatsoever you're talking about. So you could add the top insight, and it's always very important from your data collection, add the charts that actually speak to this insight. You could add it to it, and aside that, you could tell us the implication of what you said in this top insight. So from the example I gave, that most of our customers needed us on Saturdays and Sundays, and that's the reason they are withdrawing from this. So you could tell us the implication. The implication is that we are losing customers. So despite that our advert is working, this is working, more customers are coming, we're actually losing them out just because we're not working on Saturdays and Sundays. You give the implication of that insight. Then you could actually suggest a solution, that way out, blah 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 blah, make this number of this work in this couple of days. But yes, your manager might not actually adopt what you've said, but you've actually made his or her thinking easier, so that person could flip through the whole of your documents and make decisions. So after the top insight, you can now have like another 4 insights, like insight 1, that are also top quality insights, like insight 1, insight 2, insight 3, insight 4, etc. And by dropping each of those two, it's always very important for you to link to charts or graphs that actually reveal this. It's also very okay for you to talk about the implication and most likely give suggestions based on that. So aside the top findings, the second is facts and figures. There are some very important, there are some additional highlights that you want to add to your report. They are very important. Yes, they might not be insights, but they are something important that you should show to your directors or to your decision makers. So from this end, you could add to it that 30% of customers churn happened last month. So that person might want to know, okay, 30%, how did you come about that 30%? Okay, I discussed with so number of this, and I found out that from the conversation, I found out that this number of them are actually not using our service again. And the main reason they are not using it is that we are not always there for them on Saturdays and on Sundays, period. So there are additional highlights. They are also important. So you can actually put them in facts and figures. And it's always very okay for you to tell those stories to actually state this, hit the nail on the head, and put the numbers that actually back them up into it. So number 3, it's customers language. What are these people saying? So it is this, in this section you review the customer pain points verbatim, what the customer says and the way it's being said. You reveal it verbatim. So you could pick a concept and say customer's language or customer's voice. This is what this person says about this. So you just bring it out from your data, just the way that person has said it, verbatim. That, yeah, I hate your service because you guys are not always there on Sundays. Because on that Sundays, I need to attend to my kids and these days. So I actually need you guys on Sundays. So because this person have said I need to attend to my kids on Sunday, this could actually paint a picture of a more ideal nature of our customer persona, and this could help us in several ways to actually communicate with them. So in the next sales page, in the next advertisement that will be done, we could actually because we've found this as a pain point, we could actually use this to communicate to our potential clients that even on Sundays when you are very busy with your families, we got your back. So someone might actually buy into the service just by that statement. So it's always very important for us to speak in the customer's language as much as we can. We should drop some couple of customers' language so that with this we would properly segment our customer persona, and we can better communicate with them. And the last but not the least is the research approach. How do you go about the research? Did you conduct a focus group or an ethnography or an interview or a survey? How many hours does each survey take? From what day to what day did you actually do this? How is this being done? What does this take from you? So the researcher's approach is just for you to give the information that actually supports, the total doings of your research. And it's always very important, excuse me, and it's always very important for you to have all of these in your report. So if you take, for instance, you find out that all of these highlights are just in 2 pages, and by the time you add in your graphs, your explanations and everything, it sums up to maybe 4 to 5 pages, which is always very cool, because your decision maker or your client could actually scroll down to read those important things that you need to talk, then actually make decision. So sometimes it's always very important for you to have like a table of content somewhere down here after this. So it's always very important for you to have a table of content. So this will this will help your decision maker skip through. So you say um top highlight and you have a number to this, so that person could actually click and it takes that person there, and the person does whatsoever he or she wants to do. So for executive report writing, that's basically it. So you can see that I'm just giving you those no bullshit straightforward approach to actually making this thing very easy for you. So I think by now you should have realized the fact that in 7 days you can go through the whole of this video, and by putting 2 to 3 hours work to actually read and understand basic concept and actually do some little readings, you're off on a good start. So that is that as regards that for these um video on writing an executive report. So we shall continue by talking about data visualization. For data visualization, there isn't much that we need to talk about. So I'll just put us through some, some physics, some cool things that you need to know in data visualizations, and we'll enjoy ourselves. And this is to your success as a data analyst. See you. Talk to you soon. Bye. Oops. Okay, so